Welcome to The Vault with Financielle. This is a safe space where we talk all things life and money and no topics are off limits. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are we doing
Fun
today?
day.
Good. I feel like we're not dressed for spring. I don't know why.
Like the most wintry outfit.
When I was picking my outfits, my husband was walking out the door and he was like, great spring wardrobe. Dressed
I
head
think
to toe in black.
this is where we all go, what do we wear?
What the hell do we wear?
How do you
'cause you've been
transition
conditioned.
Absolutely.
from minus ridiculous weathers to like a nice spring day? It's not warm. It's just brighter. So it's not.
I've been mourning personally for
Winter.
Yeah, Lucy is our winter babe, whereas we're all
April's
desperate for
upon us and we're ready. But I'm like, what do we wear? Like, is it jeans and t-shirt? Is that what we did? Because I've been in leggings and hoodies and
Yeah.
since
Need to get
probably
the Pinterest
September.
boards out.
Yeah, we do.
We
You need
the
to
spring Pinterest
take my
board.
leggings away from me because they are just a comfort blanket every
But
day
you
for the
want to be able
school
to
run.
do it where you don't buy loads new
know.
though. Like, but it's just literally this memory block of. That's why I'm still wearing my February stuff.
Just
I-
stay confused until summer.
What?
Yes.
But I find summer wardrobes hysterical because I don't know about you, but I've got like a high summer wardrobe that I wear on holiday, which
Yes.
is not applicable for the UK.
No, that's your
So
holiday
I've
wardrobe.
never got into the groove of like, what a summer wardrobe looks like in the UK, like a nice little capsule
Still
wardrobe that I can
cold.
change around. But when it's hot on the days, you don't want to wear
But
like
it's
your
hot
beach
for like
stuff.
your total of
Yeah, it's so weird. Like we're going to the park
Yeah.
with the kids and you're like,
Snorkel.
big sun hat on the top of your head. Like it just doesn't sarong.
Please tell me you're going to the schoolroom with a sarong and flip flop.
But do you know those days where it's like, we're having a heat wave? I'm like,
Yeah.
shit.
You'd
I
like
wear
some
pajamas.
good
Do you like the
cords.
shorts? Like
Yeah,
shorts
yeah,
and
yeah.
t-shirt pajamas.
Oh,
Yeah.
so we know we've got quite a lot of Aussie listeners.
Yes.
I'm so
need
jealous of
help.
like Australian outfits because I just feel like it's so normal there to just chuck on a pair of like linen shorts, linen pants,
Yeah.
flip flops,
Yeah.
little top. you're
Whereas we
done.
look like we're going down to the pool.
Yeah, and I'm like, I live nowhere near the beach.
You
Going
have
to the
no
river.
right.
And often their autumn, winter is our spring. Like
Yeah.
it's the,
Yeah, how
oh, I have to wear
It's
a
not a
t-shirt
true
today.
winter. Not true. It depends where you are
it's
in
like the
Australia.
coldest,
But
do you reckon?
Oh, I don't know. It does depend as well because you've obviously got like the Sunshine Coast and stuff versus like Melbourne.
Yeah.
Down, it can change. I remember going to visit Vicky in Adelaide and was in June. I was packing for spring. I was like, it is going to be nice weather. It's like fine. I was freezing,
Really?
and then the houses are not geared up for like. There's not a lot of heating in a lot of them. Like, they're all like they've got like cool. They need things that can be cool in the summer.
Yeah.
So then they have heating and stuff, but they're like the windows aren't all like super glazed or like loads of brick insulation like we would have, or carpets. Like they don't have carpets. They have like tile. I was freezing. She had to take me to the shop, and it was expensive to buy clothes as well at the time. I remember emergency hoodies. I was like, I literally could have just worn what I was already
yeah, I could have
wearing.
arrived in my UK weather clothes.
And at the same time, I do remember I took an 18-month-old to Australia, and I did enjoy myself, Vicky. But Holly went to Saint-Tropez, and I've never been, and it was I could have gone,
It
and
was a hard holiday. I had to take one for the team. My husband was camping at a festival somewhere, and I remember being by the pool with all my friends, and he rang me and he was like, it's terrible. He was like, our tent effectively was floating this morning when we woke up. We pitched a tent at the bottom of a hill and all the water like ran down, and we've had to scrap the tent. We need to go
Oh
and buy
my
a new one.
God.
He was like, oh, we're leaving. He was like, some of the lads are falling out and arguing because they're tired and they're grumpy and they're hungover. And I was like, oh, terrible. Wait a minute. And it's like, do you want some more sushi? I'm like,
she glow in the dark Dom Perignon. Like, who'd ever seen glow in the dark?
my sunglasses on at the pool, like not living the like. It was not reflective of my income at all. I was very lucky to go with a special group of girls. But yeah,
I'll never forget. I've never been, and Holly never lets me forget that.
I don't let anyone forget. It's like I'm surprised it's not an opening conversation on the
We've
ball.
never talked about it on here.
Oh, well, got it in now, haven't I?
There we go. Got it in.
Do you know what Saint-Tropez?
Okay, I've got a very controversial opinion
Ooh,
today. It's absolutely fine to take your children out of school to go on holiday.
ooh, this is quite relevant. Yeah, who would do that?
Who would do that?
No comment. No comment.
Silence.
First of all, how does it work? Do you have to pay the fines like directly, or is it if you just get caught? Like,
So,
how does it work?
It's different. Yeah, it's driven by council,
Depends
isn't
on
it?
your council.
Mhm.
I'm not going to say which
council
council
you're
we
in,
come
so they don't
under.
What fines we may or may not have paid.
Not.
But essentially, it's driven by councils, and the schools have really strict guidelines to follow in terms of attendance, and this is not to defend anything, but it is just to kind of tee up the concept of there are children not going to school.
Yeah.
There are children not going to school, missing out on education. Maybe there are health issues. Maybe there aren't. Maybe there are parents who just decide it's okay for them not to go in on a particular day. Whatever it is, like obviously the rules are in place for a reason. But obviously a few years ago, it was allowed for councils to start imposing fines for, taking kids out of school on holiday. And you can imagine like how much education some kids must be missing if it's lots of holidays. And then on top of like, then there's illnesses and stuff and unforeseen stuff. It's not great, especially when, as they're getting older, they're studying for some exams, GCSEs and stuff. So then each council will decide whether they do send warning letters or whether they do actually impose fines. The fines are sometimes, because it all depends is the answer, but per child and per parent as well. Like it's,
really?
yeah.
It's per over 18 in your household. So if you've got a household and you've got like a kid still living there that's like in their early 20s, if you go on holiday, they take into account how many over 18s are in your household, and you're fined on them. I'm sure. Like I will double check.
It makes sense.
But there's a lot of uproar about it at the moment because the cost of going away, and I genuinely mean this, it's terrifying in half-term, school holidays, over Christmas and New Year, when schools are shut down. The prices, and it is supply and demand, it's astronomical. So I've seen people compare holidays like for like with 1 week difference before the school holidays finish compared to being in the first week of the school holidays. You're talking like 3 to 4K minimum of a change, of an upswing. And then people have also checked things like centre parks in the UK in and out of school holidays. It is thousands of pounds difference.
It was 4 times. I think that's a bigger thing. Like it's 400%
heart-wrenching. Like the amount of times we've looked at holidays and gone, we'll see what it's like in, first week of July, second week of July. Would not hand my money over for it. It's awful. And there was even a protest on the 8th of March in Liverpool where parents were protesting against the fines because they want to be able to take the children out of school as and when they see fit. Obviously, it's on the back of COVID, isn't it? That's a lot of arguments that people have got against imposing fines is that the government could easily shut down in COVID, or when children had to self-isolate. If someone had a cough in the class,
like, don't cough. Do you remember
that? All the children had to go home until that child got a negative COVID test. If that child had a positive COVID test, then our children had to self-isolate for 10 days. Let me tell you, we've done back to back with kids where you're in and out of school and they didn't see the teacher for months at a time. So I think people are kind of using the argument of like, well, that's rich, imposing fines on us, or even I read an article the other day of a lady that took her children out of school to go and see family in South Africa that they hadn't seen for years, and she said that she never received the letter of the school saying that she'd incur a fine, and then suddenly she got a court summons and she was like, I didn't even know that I would have paid the fine, like and I still would have taken my children, I'm happy to pay the fine but didn't get it. And then she managed to provide evidence and then they kind of didn't take her to court. But that was that was really recent. And they said I've seen a petition going around as well for parents to sign to be able to take the kids out of school. So I get it.
There's a lot of, given we're on like a money podcast, there's the one element which is like, pragmatism on the part of parents to be like, what's reasonable, and I feel like as parents, you're always trying your best and weighing things up, whether sometimes children miss school for sporting activities, but and then you weigh up and you go, should you be out of school for that? And the school work with you on that and agree. And you're always trying to go, what's the right thing? What if there's been, illness in the family, grief in the family? What if, there's like rules about keeping them home when they've been a little bit poorly and not really poorly, and it's super hard. But on the money side of it, for me, what's interesting is there's 3 separate groups that are impacted by this. There are a whole group of people that this doesn't even matter for, because holidays, fat chance, like it's an absolute luxury and a privilege to even talk about, I take my kids out of school, or I've been looking at prices and it's much cheaper. For some people, it doesn't matter when it is, they're never going. And it must be really interesting if you're from that segment of people, you go in, there's a whole lot of fuss about going on a holiday. Like we're trying to make sure we can keep the lights on, keep them warm, feed them. So I kind of want to make sure we remember that group of people here, which you go, this is quite a privileged chat. Moving on to the other end of the spectrum. We've done this for years with friends that, went to private school and or have children in private school, is they get more holidays. So what they do is they break up earlier often or later or different things. And ironically, the wealthier parents are able to capitalize on travel when the travel's cheaper. So if they're breaking up a week before all the main schools, they're going out to, Dubai, Tenerife, Spain,
on the cheap,
even camping, even doing the centre park trips. They're capitalising on the cheap because they've got more holiday time.
And with it being a private school, did they not get?
It's not driven by
so they won't get fined?
They won't get
because
fined.
they're not out of school.
Yes,
School is not open.
Yeah,
So
no, I mean if they want to take the children outside of term time.
Oh, I don't know. Really good question.
I don't
know.
believe that you do because it's a private school, so it's agreed with the school. You don't get fined by the
It's not a
council
public
because
arrangement.
It's not, yeah.
So you've got all those extremes. So like you could, there are some people able to capitalize on the cheaper holidays when they don't need, it's not as much of a necessity. Like I said, it's still quite a privileged conversation. I'll say it, I don't mind. I've taken my kids out of school for travel, and I don't do it regularly and I don't do it often, but it came out of COVID and we had a couple of trips
view, don't you?
that just for the time of year we go really, really worked. And I was confident that with the time of year and with the age of the children, they were okay. It's a completely personal view. And I don't judge anyone that goes, well, Laura, that's out of order. Like they should be in school, they should be learning. I'm like, yeah, probably.
We always
Not
used to go out of
perfect.
school.
Like,
I think my parents
sorry,
bothered.
the last week before Christmas,
This
don't
is the
tell
thing, like
me.
the last week of term in summer in like high school and
It's like,
stuff.
watch
You're
a
not
film.
doing anything anyway.
You watch a
like,
film, they roll out the TV. We've all been there.
Yeah, that big TV
Down the
on
corridor.
the big stand.
I bet they don't do
I
that.
don't. They won't do that
They
anymore.
won't do
They'll
it.
be
It's
like,
probably a projector or
true.
a new age projector. Imagine a wheeling with a tape.
yeah.
We always used to go to Alton Towers on school days. Like the whole family.
And
like me, like my brother, my stepbrothers and everything. Like the whole family would literally be like, and my dad would just be like, family event.
Family event.
We'd be like, we don't want to
But it
queue.
is.
We don't want
No
to queue in
queues.
Alton Towers on the weekend. We want to go on a Tuesday.
No,
never
I
miss
love
10
that.
times.
There are financial benefits and sometimes there's practical benefits.
It was a family event.
Yeah, it literally was. We were going to Alton Towers. I wanted to go on Rita.
No queue.
It is madness though when, especially with the holiday thing, you get into a point where you're like, okay, spreadsheet one. Option one is we go in term time. The fines will be
I just want to say, some people I
Sinking
can
fund.
guarantee. I can guarantee right now, some of the fines people will take the hit because it's still thousands of pounds cheaper than the holiday.
Yeah.
So
You're like,
again,
okay.
it's like not a punishment.
Add on all inclusive.
Add
Add
on
on fines.
Jet2 might as well put it in the.
Just send the fines
Sorry,
straight to the
like
council.
a Jet2 on the beach, TUI, EasyJet holidays. You should be doing campaigns where you'll pay the fines for the parents. I'm
Yeah,
telling
that's
you
such
now,
a good idea.
it will. Sales will soar.
Fines
Let me tell
covered.
you.
Well, like that's so.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Fines covered by us.
Right now wouldn't. They'd be
Well,
bold
right
enough
now
to,
wouldn't.
but they wouldn't give you anything.
I'm flying with Jet2 for the first time this year, and I'm still like shook by when you told me that they played Jess
I was
Glynn.
just about to say, are you ready for Jess
I
Glynn?
remember. I think Laura, you voice noted it one time.
I did actually.
So Lucy didn't believe us that Jet2 indeed play Jess Glynn still.
Do they
Darling,
still?
hold my hand. You sat on the plane. Welcome to Jet2 holidays. Blah blah blah. Like,
I need to know the commercial deal.
yeah.
Did they
Yeah,
buy
why not?
lifetime rights, or do every year they go, can we have it again, Jess? Like,
Jess.
Is Jess Glynn literally sat on a yacht somewhere for the
Wasn't
rest
there
of
a
her
TikTok
life?
of
I've never
her
seen her since.
on the Jet2 flight, and it like starts playing. She's there with like a deal. I'm sure that's a TikTok. I've just made up.
Doesn't she?
No,
go with
I think I've
Alex,
seen that one.
The
Does she what?
footballer, the
Who?
female pundit who used to play Alex Scott. I'm sure she goes out with her, Jess Glynn.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, she does. She does. She's
does
been
that.
seen.
Lydia, can you confirm or deny whether Jess Glynn, who's Jess Glynn in a relationship with, and did they get free flights with Jet2? They must get free flights.
Yeah,
she
she's
should
got
never have to
unlimited.
pay. She should get extra baggage,
Yeah, free back.
Like-
Yeah.
meal in advance, reserved seating.
Toasty.
She should get
Confirmed
all
toasty.
the privileges.
Oh, ChatGPT says Jess Glynn likely gets free or discounted flights through sponsorship deals, brand partnerships.
Thanks,
Yeah.
ChatGPT. We could all answer
Like,
that.
probably.
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 Well, tell you being tentative. Oh, okay. Well, so that's our view. It was certainly controversial. Would love to, please do email in thevault@financielle.com.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'd
there'll
like
be
to know.
some good community chats
all
on this.
anonymous, not anonymous. What do you think? Did you do it? Was it worth it? Is it in
Let's
your
put a
budget?
question box up on Instagram today.
Yeah. We're not going to out you if you do.
How much have you paid in fines before?
Yeah.
Keeping the councils going. They are struggling.
Yeah.
Just
Someone's
see it
gotta
as
do
like a just giving donation to your council. Can you fix the pothole with this, please?
Yeah, I'll just go away. Okay, time for our first dilemma today. I feel like I've wasted my 20s and nearly my 30s. I keep seeing posts on social media saying that your 20s are for building financial foundations and your 30s are crucial for setting yourself up for the future. But I feel like I've completely wasted those years. I'm almost debt-free, just 2 months away, which should feel like a huge achievement. But instead, I can't help but dwell on the time that I've lost. I wonder if I should have been investing, saving, or doing more to build wealth earlier. It feels like I've spent years just trying to fix my mistakes instead of moving forward, and now I'm worried I'll never catch up. Is it too late to turn things around, or have I already missed my chance to build the future I want?
Oh.
Screw you, social media.
Yeah.
Have you seen like a live, laugh, love? Your dream. If your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough.
Oh,
Oh,
God
like
in
a
heaven.
nightmare. Fucking hell. Oh.
I hate all these posts that are like, if I could meet my 21-year-old self for a coffee
my
now, what would
God,
she
yeah.
say?
She was 5 minutes late. I was 5 minutes early.
People have thought about
She
this.
was
shouldn't
five.
they?
She was
literally.
5 minutes late. I'm 20 minutes late because I've got 2 kids in tow now. Like, there's no looking back smugly on my 20s.
It's so
Like,
boring. It's like she had a Diet Coke, I had a matcha.
I'm like, oh my God.
you're like, oh, life affirming.
She thought I was a bit
She's
of a
grown.
dick.
She's grown. Oh, honest to God. No, don't. You can't live in regret. Your 20s were your 20s and they make you what you are now. I didn't nail my money journey in my 20s. I would say I've fully got on board in my 30s. I would say, yes, I put some foundations in place at the back end of my 20s. But before that, and it's not too late. If you're in your 30s and you're nearly debt free, that's a lot more than a lot of people can say in the 30s.
That's amazing. And
Yeah.
if you're someone sat here in your 40s and 50s and you're still in that
Yeah.
debt trenches, there's going to come a turning point where it flips. And it feels like this person's probably on the precipice of that. Like, I'm nearly debt free. I'm nearly there. And when you are going hard, you get angry and pissed off at your past self. You do. That's part of it. If you didn't, you might go back and do the
wouldn't
same thing
change.
again.
Yeah.
You don't learn. And so part of this, it's not penance or anything like that, but it's like, it's doing the work and getting annoyed. And the more annoyed you are, the less likely you are to do it again. And that's the stuff in the tools you need in your armory
Yeah,
to
so
not do that.
you're
If
not
you
gonna
didn't feel that,
dip back into
you just go
impulsive
back.
spending because you don't want to feel like this again. You don't want to be filling in a debt tracker on Financielle again. You want to be able to delete that feature. Wouldn't it be nice? We should totally do that, by the way.
Yeah.
Once you're
Delete
debt
the
free,
debt tracker.
you can't have a debt
I
tracker
panicked the
again.
other day because I had some bad debt on it, but it's because I was using it as an example. Who's got a credit card?
Oh, I really make bougie ones.
What? Like,
I don't know, like the Ritz dinner. £350 as my examples, because we test the app a lot, so we'll tend to make fake things
Debt, you mean just?
on our own accounts. Yeah. Or I don't know,
Oh, I did an odd muse sinking fund.
Dubai holiday, 20 grand
Yeah.
debt. Not really, just it's good to test and try and put the
can upload the
picture on,
pictures
and
and stuff,
we like
yeah.
to test the app a lot. So yeah, we've got loads of fake debts in there.
There's a big comparison journey as well, isn't there, with other people, like feeling like what people are putting on socials. You know, we've talked about that so much
Oh,
on
it's a
here, I know,
lie.
but it is a lie. And then when they finally tell you it's a lie, you know, when people say it's like at the time, you don't have to share what's actually going on, and you don't have to share whatever you don't want to share. I fully support people wanting to put exactly what they want out on social media, and I don't feel that they also have to tell you what's and all. If you only want to give me your highlights reel, you're entitled to, because why should you have to give anything else? But never misrepresent, never try and act like a life came easy, a car came easy, an outfit came easy, an outfit wasn't free, you know, that all your different beauty treatments don't cost £1,000 a month. Like, you know, I don't like the idea that we misrepresent stuff, but I also don't mind the highlight reel because people try to keep stuff private. But a big quote I do like of all these bullshit quotes that is like be kind. You never know what's going on in someone's life. And so for sometimes you may compare and go, look at them, they've got it sorted. You just don't know. In fact, they could probably do with, they'd rather be like you, and or they could do with a hug, or they could do with a coffee or whatever. So try not to compare. Easier said than done. But focus on like these like little war wounds that you've got are good. Like it's good that you feel like you wasted bits. Don't regret, but that like you've learned from it, and this is going to set you up for 50 years of building wealth, feeling financially well, not worrying about money.
I think like a good way to get over this is to set some goals, because she's focusing too much on the past. It's like, no, you're nearly out of the paying off your debt phase. Like what's next? Like you've got like, let's give you like even a 1 to 2 year goal in your 30s. Like what does the start of your 30s look like?
Yeah.
What can we achieve in that time? Like maybe flip it on its head.
Let's pick some, right? So let's ignore house, but like if so she's going to pay off this last bit of debt, then I would want a celebration. I paid off my debt. Yeah. So like she the next goal will be save up a little money to go get a really gorgeous meal, really nice outfit.
Save up for it. Let's start a sinking fund.
Yeah, plan
debt-free
for that
sinking
day,
fund.
And then you're going to celebrate. And then it sounds like she's regrets like having not invested. Well, let's start your investing journey. Like what's going to be, who are you going to open an account with? Is it going to be stocks and shares ISA? Are you going to set up a direct debit for an amount and start there? Like what that, then are you going to calculate what that could compound to over 10 years? Like model it and do the work, because I think when you can see what that can become, that's your next challenge. And, I know you didn't start it years ago, but starting it today will still plenty of time. And I would say that to someone in the 50s, like you, with life expectancy, with health, it's never
too late.
It's never too late. It's always a good idea.
And just start small. I was speaking to someone that works in a massive, massive global investment platform, and he was just like, tenner. We just want people to start with a tenner, because then it's just that, we always talk about flexing that investing muscle, and it not only compound interest, but like how comfortable you feel, your confidence over time. You start with £10.
You don't overthink it.
No, just don't, because you'll never do it otherwise.
Opening the bloody account is the big overthinkers. Do you ever have a task that you go, oh, I'm putting that off?
Yeah,
that
eat the frog. Yeah.
Oh,
wasn't that bad?
Did it now?
Oh man,
they were right. I was wrong. So,
yeah. I want to know the plan. Get back in touch.
Yeah.
Let's set some goals. Like let's flip this on its head and make it a positive thing.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, this is a really, really, really good community win. I'm so close to being debt-free, I could cry. Me and my son's dad split up nearly 12 years ago, and when he left, I found out he was paying none of the bills. Bills that I was paying my share of into his bank account. I'm talking gas, electric, rent, internet, council tax, and water. And to top it off, he had taken out credit in my name and jointly. He had made no attempt to repay any of this, and quite literally left me at 23 drowning in debt, which was over £30,000. I fought hard to repay as much as I could, as fast as I could. This has been so hard as a single parent, but also as someone with ADHD, as I naturally struggle with money and unnecessary spending. I could almost see the light at the end of the tunnel, knowing I had another 5 years until being completely debt-free. Starting my 40s in the best financial position. I want to say financial every time I say financial.
Good.
Starting my 40s in the best financial position I have ever been in. But then I stumbled across the amazing Financielle and working my ass off and making money work for me. Instead of it taking 5 years, I will be completely debt-free in just 11 months. Oh, how incredible is that?
Oh my God. Like, to be fair, she's done we can't take much credit because it sounds like she's done an incredible amount of work before she even came to us. But the fact now, 5 years is a long time, but 11 months isn't. Like,
no,
she can absolutely see light at the end of the tunnel. And screw him.
I was just about to say, I am spoiling this win with how flipping angry I am. The audacity of people, the absolute audacity. Like, she was paying her way, and he, like, what are our learnings? What are our learnings? She wasn't seeing the bills being paid. Yeah. Why would she doubt him? Like, da-da-da-da. But they did, like, people surprise us, and people aren't who they seem. And she had to, and on top of that, he'd taken out loads of credit.
In her name, that's illegal, but it's hard to prove.
It is when it's kind of, well, it is absolutely illegal to take out credit in someone else's name. There's just different, like it could have been something that she was aware of, but he was racking up debt on it. Like there's lots of things, but yes, there's a lot of complications there. But it just goes to show, like, I mean, she'll have learned so much from never doing that again, but also from the journey that she's been on. And because becoming debt free within 11 months, then all those extra money,
where's it gonna go?
It's gonna go to her and her son.
Son. So, like, if we were going to give advice to another person so that it doesn't happen to another member of our community, because these dilemmas and wins are always really good because it helps us to help the person that's asking
Have
the
a little
question.
think about your life.
Could there be a thing whereby if your partner, all the bills are in their name, maybe we could half them? So at least, you know, like you're covering some sort of...
Well, okay, let's go to the beginning though.
Yeah.
Let's go to basics. If your name is on a bill, you are responsible for paying that bill. Mm-hmm. So if he isn't paying his mobile phone bill, but it's just his name on it, happy days. None of your business. It's up to him. If he is not paying the council tax and you're both your names and you're both liable to pay council tax, you are fully liable for the full amount. And this is similar with mortgages. It's the same with utilities. Any bill that your name's on, even if it's on jointly, it's not a 50-50 split. It's what it's called. You're jointly liable for it. And obviously the provider's going to want that, because if you don't pay, can you pay it all? They won't say, oh, Holly's not paid, but Lucy, can you still just pay your half? It'll say, Lucy, can you pay for it all? Because Holly didn't bother. So anything with your name on it, any bill, any contract, any loan, anything, you are fully responsible for. And so you want to be absolutely sure that that's being paid. It either needs to be paid from a joint account where you can see it being paid, or you pay it yourself directly. Like, have full confidence that it's being paid, because this can happen. The credit report thing, the credit in her name thing, we should regularly check our credit report. I'm not going to go down a credit report. What's it called? Like, I'm going to say molehill. I didn't mean that.
Rabbit hole.
Yes, Lydia with the rabbits and the rabbit hole. But we should check them. You can check them for free. You don't need to sign up for a premium feature. Just check that everything is correct, that you're not financially linked to anyone that you shouldn't be or that you don't want to be. Really good for fraud, to make sure someone hasn't like kind of done it without you.
I've not checked mine for a long time, and I'm like, oh yeah, fraud. Someone could have taken out credit in my name.
You should just check it once in a while, because that's where you would see it. And so even if things like if someone says, oh, I've been paying down this debt and they've not been doing, you would see what the outstanding balance is on it. But this is all connected to stuff in your name. Obviously, anything in their name, it's irrelevant.
Because it's not the first we've had some conversations off the pod today about people not being transparent with money and stuff. So if you're in a relationship, you have to take responsibility. Like if letters are coming in and they've got just your partner's name on it to do with council tax, like get both your names on and take joint responsibility, because you genuinely don't know, and this is proof of this, you don't know what the other person's doing. Like, you might trust someone, but we've heard so many horror stories of these types of things happening where people are racking up credit in debt in couples and the other person just doesn't know. And especially with things like bills, it's attached to your name, it follows you around. You can't easily decouple yourself from debt, and we talk about that all the time.
Not when, like, you know, like I said, with this debt, it could have been validly spent on both of them. It's not necessarily like he had a secret video game addiction and was buying a load of video games privately. It was like, you know, it could have well been on family meals and and
but if you've got transparency, you're never going to get a wake-up call like this where someone's racked up hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of debt or not paid really important bills. If you've got transparency from the beginning in a relationship when it comes to money, it's like, no pun intended, it'll pay dividends in the future. Like, literally. You will be in a much better financial position. You're not going to get these horror stories because everyone thinks it won't happen to them. And let me tell you, even the most astute, intelligent people that I know, switched on, amazing job, like got it all going for them, something hits them sideways that they just did not ever imagine would happen to them. Like, you have to take responsibility when it comes to your finances. You have to. You can't be there, oh, I'm shit with money, my husband deals with it all.
I don't do that.
You cannot.
No.
Like, stop.
Yeah.
And women have had this rhetoric's been going around for too long when it comes to women. We want to change that.
And the same with, like, you know, emergency savings. We've talked about this lots about whether you should combine finances or not. And you know, I transparently fully combine finances with my husband. We both hold the emergency fund in each of our names. We don't hold the emergency fund in a joint account. which is a lovely thing because not only is it both of ours, but we've both got it. Like it's not, oh, could you hold the emergency fund for us, please?
Ours is like split down the middle, especially because some, like, you could get better deals
get
with
better
opening
yeah,
them.
you should
and
do anyway.
It's actually sometimes not financially.
But if,
like,
but
great
if,
to do
if
it,
you
but-
are listening to this and you don't have access to the savings in your household, just tell your partner, whoever that is, that we said so. Like it's their fault. Like I'm
Played in this.
You know, just say, look, they've said it's a really good idea. Like, do you have a problem with that? And if they have a problem, then
That's
the
a
red
red
flag
flag,
guy
yeah.
runs
Yeah.
through the back like off TikTok. You only have to watch TikTok to know about the red flag guy or green flag guy. But yeah, like if there's an issue,
There's an issue.
and sorry, because
It's a good test,
a big
actually,
deal.
Yeah, it is.
to ask questions like that. You know, I want to put things in our name. Like, can we, once we, I don't know, can we put both? Me and my husband are trying to, still not. We talked about it in an episode a long time ago. Set up a joint email address so
I was just
bills
thinking like
come
a
to
joint
us.
email so that you can see everything, like keep on track of everything.
Like transparency will be the best thing, and you can't say that you've not got time to do it because you don't want something like this biting you on the ass. You
Doing
don't
the
want
net
30
worth
grand
every
off of that.
month.
Yes,
We sit down together and do it, and he gets his
You
accounts
go
up, and I
through-
get my accounts
yeah.
up, and
Yeah.
you know the idea that and again, you are still also entitled to privacy. But if you're entitled to privacy, this probably means that you both have emergency savings in your own name, which is a good thing. It's when one person doesn't have, everything's been combined, but then you don't see some stuff.
Or someone's like siphoning money away.
Yeah.
If you're in a joint household with children, to siphon money away and not tell the other person, not be transparent, like that's just a red flag for me. Massively. It means that they're planning on something. There's like,
Yeah,
Unless,
what
it's,
are you-
unless it's for
what are you
coffees
working
and
on?
you were like,
Yeah.
I just,
I would do that.
it was, I wanted
unless you've got a
extra.
joint styling like us when it goes, bing, Collier has spent £3.60 at Greg's.
We all know about Paul Anderson's Greg's.
Oh, my dad. My poor dad. There are no secrets. No secrets.
Just on the bakery update, I drove past him the other day running out of green arches and I was late and he was picking me up for the rugby. So I was like, oh, quick, yeah, Fab is distracted. And he'd actually bought us all bacon bombs. So it wasn't like a secret green arches trip, but that would have pinged and my mum would have been like, oh,
He spent £60 at Green Arches.
how much is
Going
he
to town.
for green arches? He was actually buying for all of us. But great win coming forward.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
Your
That's so
win has
good.
led to a moral lesson for the wider community, so I
Yeah.
don't mean to put a dampener
No,
on
sometimes
it.
these are the best ones because she might,
Your
by
legacy is
sharing your
helping
win,
others.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're going to help another person that's sat there been going, something's not felt right. And I'm going to check.
And ultimately as well, this is a bit of a gushy thing, but your son like will be so proud of you. There's a lot he won't understand. There's a lot he doesn't need to know. He doesn't need to know about elements of it, but he'll have watched you do this bit. He'll also watch the change in you. He'll watch you act a bit differently. And now you're not got 5 years of paying off debt and it's just gone to like 11 months. He'll watch you building confidence as you build an emergency fund. And then he'll watch you kind of like excel and grow when you are growing your money, when you're investing.
Yeah.
They're watching everything.
Yeah.
And so like if there's the biggest win for me out of all that is what you're teaching him without even realizing.
Yeah. You go, girl.
If you'd like to tell us your win, head to the community in the app or email it to thevault@financielle.com. I'm in a man-hating mood today.
Join the club. Get in the queue because
Too many male-female relationship stuff. I need the lesbians. They're much more better
I
with this
know.
kind of thing. 2 women is the future.
yeah, 100%.
Okay, dilemma number 2. Do I help my boyfriend get rid of his debt?
Okay, we're going to be nice. We're going to be nice.
Be nice. I need some advice because I feel torn. Deep down, I think I know what I should do, but I worry I'm being selfish. I've been part of your community for a couple of years, but I've only really got my finances together over the last year. I'm happy with my current emergency fund, though I know I'll need to build it up more, and I haven't had a credit card for over 20 years. By May this year, I'll be completely debt-free. Even my boob gel. Even my boob gel. Even my boob job will be paid off.
Oh my God, you'll finally own them both. Let's give one back.
Okay. The issue is my boyfriend. He has £15,000 loan, around £7,000 on a credit card, £10,000 owed to his dad and stepmom, which he only told me about recently. Plus, he uses Klarna constantly, which makes me really angry. He earns £90,000 a year, so he's on a great salary. When he moved in with me and gave up his flat, all I asked for was £250 a month, and that he used the rest that he would have spent on rent and bills to pay down his credit card. We've talked about buying a house together, but I've made it clear that the deposit will be split 50-50. Otherwise, I'll buy a place on my own. My question is, should I help him pay off his credit card and loan, or should I just keep saving and let him dig himself out of his own hole?
This is a really interesting one, because if it had been the lady that's written in saying that she was the one in debt, then I'd be like, right, you really need help. So I have to do the same with him. He's obviously got a spending problem. He can't stay out of debt. He's on a really good salary. There's no way in high heaven that he should be in that amount of debt.
No.
So that's telling me that it's not, I can't get to the end of the month with money left over and I'm slipping further into debt. He's got a debt
There's
problem.
a reason,
That's tens of £1,000s in various places. The fact that he's relying on Klarna and he gets paid 90 grand a year, there's a problem there, and he needs help. Whether it's, I don't think the answer would be that she pays any of the debt off for him, because
he needs to learn that lesson himself.
Because it sounds like he's even borrowing money from his parents, and that's not a priority for him to pay it down, because he's only just told her about it. It's like, if I owed my mum dad 10 grand, I won't be able to sleep at night. I don't know if that's just me personally, but I don't feel comfortable lending money from people, especially family and friends. It's not keeping him up at night. He's only just kind of told her about it. So he's got a bit of a problem, actually, I think.
Sometimes when you're a higher earner, credit seems sensible because you can easily pay it off.
Yeah.
Like per paycheck. So this isn't someone who leans to credit because they've like not got enough money for the end of the month, and they need, to use buy now, pay later to get some extra clothes, or they need to kind of put the food shop on the credit card, or something's break like that. This isn't struggling, as you said. When you have a good salary, you often are the biggest underachievers because you take the foot off the gas and you've got comfortable.
Yeah.
So when you see monthly payments on stuff, or I'll split it into 3, I'll split it into 6. It's just so affordable. And actually probably the value of the thing goes up and up and up. We're not talking small items probably. But also he's had it easy. So 250 quid contribution whilst he pays down his debt. That's very kind of you.
Yeah, it is.
As a proportion of his budget. I mean, I'd love to know what he's spending it on, by the way. Like, as in, there's...
What have you got to show for it? I'm thinking holidays, clothes, watches.
Eating out, takeaways, maybe. Like, we don't know age necessarily. She doesn't, because it sounds really immature, but she said she's not had a credit card for 20 years. So, they're not going to be like early 20s and having this time where they're still figuring it out. He's on a good salary. So what would I say to her to say to him? I think I would definitely want this like come to Jesus chat, which is like, what's the plan? Not like the when do we get engaged plan, because that's another one that we do sometimes as females. But where are we heading? Like, what do we want to do? Do we want to buy a home together? Do we want to get married and have children? Again, I don't know how long they've been together, but do we want to travel and do like, what do we want to do? Because money's the enabler to be able to do all these things. And what there is a massive imbalance in the relationship, which just doesn't work. There's nothing wrong with earning different amounts, but you have to have the same values. So here you can have a working couple, not a financial one, but a working couple where one person has debt and one person doesn't like using it, as long as it doesn't conflict. But this is a perfect example of showing how debt can bring conflict into a relationship. It can be a red flag about whether to get married to someone, especially about whether to get onto big bills with someone and buy a home. Yeah. And
whether to be tied financially to that person that can't manage money. You will always have that, they're going to fuck up. They're going to fuck up. If they've got if they're showing no intention of getting rid of the debt, which I feel like he's not giving any signs that he's truly committed.
She's going to resent him. Because
she is already, because she's written the dialogue. I always say this.
So people like, should I? At night,
I'm like, you know the answer. You know the answer. You know the answer.
But like he's holding her back. So she is debt free. She has savings. She
talking about owning a home.
She rents it, maybe. They're talking about a home together, or maybe she owns a home. I can't remember. But she asked for a contribution. He gave up his flat. So she's leading the way. And he's like the teenager, like going, yeah, this is like how convenient. He's like, and so what I would want, interestingly here, far more than the numbers and the maths, it's about the value system, about the chat, and about what's our plan. Because if the plan is, and if he says, hopefully, I really want to buy a home together. I would love to get on the property ladder. Yes, I'd really like to retire early. Yes, I'd like to travel well. She then goes, how are we going to do that? Because at the moment, it sounds like only I'm doing that. And it sounds like you've not really got a plan to pay off this debt, that you've not, like, you might have tried, but it's obviously not working. Engage how he is. If he's happy to coast, don't think there's any more chat we need to have. That's going to be the rest of your life with him.
Yeah.
So you can decide whether that's for
whether
you.
you're comfortable with that.
But if he does show willing and actually he's just had a pretty easy life, he's behaving a bit like a kid, it's time. It's like, pull your big boy pants on now. Then you do not help him financially. You help him strategically.
I was about to say, you do the like we love a model.
You're good at this.
Yeah.
We get the kitchen table. We always talk about
Get
it.
the snacks.
If you're a financial girly, which it sounds like you are, you know the methodology. You know how quickly people can pay off debt, especially with his income. And then, therefore, once that debt's gone, how quickly he could probably save 50% of a house deposit. But if he's showing no willing, can't be arsed, isn't willing to budge, isn't willing to change, you just need to decide if you're comfortable with that. We talk about money personalities a lot. You can have two, Laura mentioned it, and you can have two people that are completely different when it comes to money personalities. One's a bit more of an impulse spender. One doesn't really want to spend that much, but they come to some sort of agreement, especially the financial couples, because they put in a budget every single month. And the person that likes to keep the purse strings a bit tight gets stretched a bit by the person. It's like it's a complementary thing. But if it's someone actually holding you back from reaching your money goals, like buying a home, and shows no intention of changing, and you've give them help, like by saying, oh, only pay me £250 a month, which again is extremely generous, you have to make sure that the money that was going to that apartment and flat is going towards a debt. You don't even know if it is.
Well, it's. I suspect it's not, because there's just no like consequence to it. But again, you can't force someone to do something. He has to want, and that's why helping him with the goal thing and the next steps and the, I'm doing this on my own. I feel like you're not really into it. Might help, but if he doesn't want to, he's just not going to do it. It's like he's just not.
It's
that into
scary
you.
to have that chat, though.
It doesn't mean he's not that into you. He's just not into it. Like you
It's
can't
just not
force
bothered.
him.
No. It's scary to have the chat, though, isn't it? Because
It's like this could be the end of it.
yes.
Yes.
Which is why people put it off, because they don't want to have the it's an ultimatum, but it's not. It's like it's a kind ultimatum. It's not sort your shit
It's
out
your
or I'm
decision.
gone.
Yeah, like
I'm
it's
going
your
to give
decision
you the
whether
power.
can put up
Imagine
with
if they
that.
went, no, I don't think that. Then you have a really.
Yeah.
You have to decide what's right for you, because honestly, you'll resent him forever. Because the way and you shouldn't ever help someone financially that you are not married to and that's not your family, unless it's like a serious scenario, like and we're talking small amounts of money, like an emergency, this or that. Not helping someone to pay off debt that earns 90 grand a year. No way.
No,
you're not doing that.
No, and that's why you keep going back to this earning.
He's fine.
Like, his
He's a big
salary
baby.
is good. He's
He
fine.
is.
He's a big
fine.
baby.
He is. He's fine.
Yeah.
But it's very similar to a health and fitness journey where
Yes.
he has to want to do it. And the tough thing
I'm laughing
is,
because
the tough thing is,
it's like my mum always wants my dad.
and poor Paul.
My mum always wants my dad to be like, come on, let's, like my mum's on a fitness journey at the moment. And we've
That's
all been
fine.
there when you're like so motivated and you want to get your partner involved and you're feeling good, the endorphins are going, you're doing your gym class and then you look to your partner, you're like, come on. And they're just like, no. You get it though. It's like a fitness journey. You've got to want it for yourself. You can't, my mum can't
Well, you
make my
can't-
dad go to the gym and like join a fitness class.
Do
Like he's
Zumba.
going to want to do it.
He's going to want to do it himself. But and the way you'll tell as well, when someone plays with Financielle and like dips the toe in a little bit and they do a budget and they've got all these plans and say, because obviously the way that we pay off debt in Financielle is you do your budget, you have an excess and you put the excess cash at the beginning of the month to your debt. The problem with kind of putting it to one side and seeing what's left at the end of the
slush
month
fund.
is it just kind of slushes somewhere else. And so if you could help him and you could help him with his budget and you could help him with his cash and like, he should be, I'm not being funny, 1,500, 2 grand should be going to his debt. Like if his only expense is 250 quid, we're all sat there going,
Can I move
oh
in?
my God, can I
There's a
go?
queue. Basically, you've got a queue of admirers that will fight for this man's space.
Really good roommates. We're all going to pitch ourselves. But he should be paying thousands off. This could clear really quickly.
Maybe he needs to see it like that. Do you know, like, as easy as that? Literally go, let me show you. Let's do a lesson. financial lesson and
maybe.
just
Yeah.
one
Oh my God,
example
get him
of
to ring
a
in. Can we do it with him?
live,
Oh my God,
one
do it
example
live.
of a budget.
Over a fire
Can
pit.
you imagine?
We can keep him in the fire pit.
One example of a budget though could be the light bulb moment that he needs,
Yeah.
because he
Yeah.
might think it's too far. He might be like, oh, it's tens of thousands, I'm never going to get rid of it, I'll just do minimum payments. She could be like, you need a date, give him his debt-free date. If
Yeah.
you do this,
Yeah.
you'll be debt-free in 6 months or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And then
12
kind of,
months.
and like I said, if someone isn't willing to overpay their debt on payday, it's the equivalent of putting your gym gear on, but then I'm going to call for some chocolate at the
Yeah.
fridge. Or, like
That's so
the secret
true.
eater concept. It's I'm committed,
Yeah.
but I'll do it. I will
I will
do it,
go.
And then you just haven't paid off that debt. And so you can help him in a few different ways. And by the way, in the meantime, the more financially well you are, if this guy is going to work out, and if you do get married in the future, you're going to go, surprise, I'm also rich.
Yeah,
yeah.
Congratulations, you're very lucky. So you can help him financially in the long run with money when you are kind of all together, but you're going to help him much more with this theory.
Giving him
Are
money
you
is
gonna
not
help-
going to be the option.
Sorry. I'm like, are you going to help his next girlfriend? Like, have you ever seen,
yeah.
have you seen that on socials?
That makes
Like,
me feel sick.
I built that man brick by brick. Have you seen it? Oh my God. So think about this, like,
You do all the training.
you do all the training
Yeah.
and then it ends
Oh
and
my
then the
God.
next person gets this like
Really
ready product.
emotionally mature.
Like if Carl left me now, the next woman
Oh my God.
has got the best product that I grafted and
If I got a
molded.
new partner now, that new partner would be like, why did you mollycoddle her? Because she's fucking useless.
Yours is the opposite.
They would be like, what dickhead? Went out with you because they must have done everything because you're useless. I'm just a baby.
Oh, I didn't know you'd not seen that trend. I
No,
like
but
that.
it's the opposite of what would happen to me.
My husband's next wife's gonna have a great should thank me. I think that's the kind
Yeah.
of vibe. It's
Send me a
like
thank you gold.
Whereas Neil get hate mail.
Okay. Any final words?
it was said enough, I think. And I'm sorry if your relationship doesn't work out.
I'm sorry if you're a man listening to this.
Yeah.
And
No,
you're
I'm
not
not.
in this category.
We
Because
are.
they let you down a lot. is
That
all I would
wasn't
say.
that we have women doing exactly
Yeah, we
what
do.
that man did.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
very well at the beginning. You're very good. You were diplomatic at the beginning.
Yeah.
But
He
it has
should
been a bit
download the app.
anti-men.
Like he should definitely download.
Oh my God, he
Financielle
will
app.
be so welcome
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
community. He's like, I like Alex in our community. Hi, Alex.
Yeah.
Alex shared his wife needed to go on a bit of a
Yeah,
journey
yeah, and he
and he
helped.
was asking for tips on how to
Bring her along.
Yeah.
sensitively bring her along.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. Green flag.
Yeah.
That was my Alex. Joking.
She's a nightmare.
I'm the pawn. Okay, that's all for this episode. The Vault is now closed. And just a quick disclaimer, The Vault is just a chat around life and money topics. We are not giving financial advice.